Hi Cole, this is Alan Cockrell with ABC, former hitting coach for the Colorado Rockies and Seattle Mariners. I'm going to take a look at your video this morning. Cole, the first thing I look for is that we are under balance, okay? And balance is keeping our knees inside of our feet and keeping our head inside of our knees. Want to try to have good bend in the knees like you have right here. That's very important for maintaining balance and keeping the barrel of the bat under control, being able to take the bat to the ball, through the ball consistently. So this balance is going to be a very, very important thing as we go forward and looking at your video. In fact, you remind me of Brad Hopp a little bit right here in your setup. So we will run this forward now to the load up phase. Okay, the load up phase is gathering or storing weight to the inside part of this back leg. Okay, as you can see here, you've done a good job there. You have not taken your knee outside your foot. That's good. Okay, we're going to continue to go forward. We're going to go forward. Everything looks good. Okay, the one thing that I want to point out, or actually there's a few things at this particular point in the load. Okay, the toe will land first with most hitters, yourself included. It is not until the heel plants into the ground right here am I fully loaded. Now at this position we're going to check a few things out right here. Okay, I want to have equal bend in both knees. Okay, we can see with your front leg here, we're starting to stiffen up your front leg just a little bit, and that's going to cause your front hip to want to fly open, all right, in this direction to the pull side. Okay, we want to try to keep, the biggest thing for me is keeping good equal bend in both of these knees. All right, that's going to be absolutely huge as you get a little bit older and you play higher ball and they can throw their fastballs consistently to the outer half or outer third of the plate. They can start to throw some change-ups out there. We're going to need to have that good equal bend, that good balance to be able to stay on that pitch out there. Okay. The other thing that I look for is the stride foot. Okay. If the stride foot lands more open than 45 degrees, then we're leaking open too quickly. Okay, as you can see here, you're at 59 degrees. So I'd rather see that stride foot. I'd rather see it more over here in this position at 45 degrees, somewhere in that area. Okay, that along with making sure that when the heel lands on the ground, when that heel plants, that I've got good equal bend in this knee that as I have in this knee right here. And that will keep that front hip right there from wanting to leak open too quickly. Okay. Now as we run it forward, we're going to get two moves. There's a lower half move to the ball, and then there's a hands move to the ball. Okay. The lower half is started with the back knee. All of the energy that I gathered to the inside part of that leg will now be transferred forward, okay, into the inside part of this leg. All right, again, we want to have good bend in this knee right here. All right, the hands will not start to come forward until this knee makes the first move into the inside part of this thigh. Okay, when the hands do start to come forward, all right, I want to see a connection between the shoulder, the elbow, and the back hip. All right, so I'll run this back, and the first move will be that the elbow, and this is the first move with the hands, the elbow will come into a slot right into here. It'll go right into the rib cage. It'll go right into the back hip, okay, and it will slot right there. So I will get a connection with my shoulder, my back elbow, and my back hip. That's the connected position. Okay, now from this position, shoulder, elbow, back hip are connected. Now my hands will start to work in front of my body. Okay, my center of gravity is my belt buckle or my belly button. I want my hands to work just in front of this center of gravity right here. Okay, if this elbow does not stop going forward in this direction, then my hands never catch up, and I never get the bat speed or the extension or the barrel release through the ball at contact. As you can see here, your elbow works past your connection. In fact, your elbow has worked in front of your center of gravity right here. Elbow works in front of the center of gravity, and you can see here how our hands are dragging behind all of that. Okay, so at this point, I'd rather see this elbow somewhere in this area, and I'd rather see these hands. I'd rather see our hands somewhere out here where our elbow is. Okay, and that's how we're going to get our bat speed going through the baseball. Okay, we'll run it forward to contact. Now your hands have caught up. Okay, we get out here to contact. I see some good things at contact. I see head and eyes right down the line. Let's see if we get to a palm up, palm down position. Actually we get just a little bit of a roll with our hands, okay, and our wrists. We roll over the top of the ball, and that's basically caused because we stiffened up our front side, and that front foot was open a little bit too much, so we got a little leaky. So now everything's going to work around. Okay, once we get to contact, the position that I'd like to see is the barrel of this bat continuing to extend at the pitcher. So the end of your bat would be extended towards the pitcher, and you can see that your bat is starting to come over and roll out of the zone just a little bit too quickly. So Cole, to clean up some of this stuff, I think what I'd like to see you do is we're gonna work on a tee. Okay, we're gonna set that tee. We're gonna set the tee out here on the outer half or the outer third of the plate out here. All right, that tee will be there. I'm going to put a ball out here, okay, and I'm going to take this thing slow and easy. I'm going to put it just about even with my front stride foot. All right, that's going to be the location or the depth of the tee, but the tee will be sitting on the outer half of the plate or the outer third. Okay, we're going to take this thing in a progression. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to load. Okay, I'm going to get the weight gathered into the back side of this leg. Okay, I'm going to put my foot down. I'm going to set my heel down. Okay, and when I do, I'm going to check to make sure that I have good equal bend in both knees. Okay, the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this stride foot right here is no more open than 45 degrees. Okay, now that's going to keep my front hip from wanting to leak open. All right, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this elbow right here. I'm going to slide it into this slot, and I'm going to make sure that my shoulder and my elbow and my back hip are all in alignment, that I have a good connection with my back side. Okay, now after I get this good connection, I'm going to bring my hands in front of my center of gravity, and I'm going to feel like I'm throwing the barrel of the bat through this baseball. And if you're in a cage, you'll drive this ball to the left side of the cage. If you're on a field, you'll be hitting line drives through the shortstop or line drives into left center. But we want to try to get this extension in this bat barrel extending through this ball out here, outer half. The reason we work outer half is it's the toughest pitch to stay on. It's the toughest pitch to hit through. And all of our principles need to be solid in order for me to hit this ball middle away or outer third. Okay, so our main focus is keeping this foot at a 45, and I'm going to make sure that I have good equal bend in both knees. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure that as this knee drives into the inside part of my front thigh, that my back shoulder and my elbow and my back hip are all in a connected line. Okay, and then once I get that feeling, now I'm going to bring my hands forward, and I'm going to release the barrel, or I'm going to throw the barrel through contact and have good extension through that ball away. Okay, Cole, I think these things will help you. We want to thank you for coming to our camp, and best of luck, buddy.